Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline Zakarian, and I work here at the Office of Civics and Community Services at the Los Angeles Public Library. Welcome to today's Alzheimer's Q&A discussion with Dinora To, a dementia counselor from Alzheimer's Los Angeles. Dinora To is the manager of Latino services at the Alzheimer's Los Angeles. She holds a master's degree in social work from the University of Southern California and has been with the organization for over 3 years. Denora's previous role at Alzheimer's Los Angeles was that of care counselor, and it's a role that enabled her to provide families and individuals with specialized support while navigating the dementia journey. Now, her primary focus is on providing dementia education to community members and connecting with community partners to better reach and serve members of the Latino community. So, today's discussion is brought to you by Alzheimer's Los Angeles and Los Angeles Public Library. Denora is here to answer your questions, and please send us your Alzheimer's and dementia questions throughout the program. I'm going to start with some questions. Hi, Denora. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you, and thank you for having me. It's a great opportunity to talk about Alzheimer's and the resources that are available.
Wonderful. Let's get started. So, Denora, what's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
So there is a lot of confusion when it comes to Alzheimer's and dementia, especially when I was working closely with families. They would tell me, my father has Alzheimer's and dementia, so does he have both? So there is a lot of confusion that happens when it comes to distinguishing Alzheimer's and dementia. But with dementia, it's not a specific disease. So it's a general term that describes symptoms or conditions that occur in the brain that affect memory and other thinking skills, such as the ability to think, reason, and remember. So most of it affects the person's daily life. So it's basically a state of health, so it's not a disease. With Alzheimer's, it's the most common type of dementia. So Alzheimer's is a disease. It's a progressive disease, and as of now, there's no cure. And also, with Alzheimer's, it kills brain cells or neurons. And we need these neurons to create memories, to make decisions, and even speak well.
Okay. Okay, so how do I reduce my risk of developing Alzheimer's?
So
How do
there's
you?
small things that people can make, or small steps that people can make in their daily lives. And that could include eating healthy. So incorporating more vegetables in your meals, right? So we're not saying eat salads every day. So just eating healthy, seeing, what it is you eat, avoiding frying foods, limiting going out and eat. So things like that, being active. And also, that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym to stay active. So that could include watching videos on YouTube and doing small exercises at home. Also parking far away from where it is you're walking to.
Mhm.
So that way you can include more steps in your day. Also, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. So small things like that can keep you active. Being aware of your physical health. So I would always tell my clients it's important to communicate any changes in health that you see, or that you observe. So that way the doctor can evaluate what is going on. Also monitoring your high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. So all of that can help. Keeping your brain active, and even socializing also.
I've always heard that, doing puzzles like brain teasers, things like, does that help also, or is that just,
So it can help with stimulating your brain. So
okay.
something that also that could help is learning something new, right? That you didn't know
Mhm.
before. So things like that can help keep your brain active. So that's the most important.
Okay. And is Alzheimer's just about losing memory?
No, so Alzheimer's affects all elements of cognition, and memory is what many people associate with Alzheimer's disease, but it really affects much more, and that includes judgment, attention, perception,
Okay.
reasoning, organization, abstraction, and language. And if people would like to know more, we do offer our Savvy Caregiver workshops. So with this workshop, people meet once a week for 6 weeks, and they learn more about Alzheimer's and dementia, the different stages, how to keep your family member engaged in activities, and the importance of self-care. And we certainly understand that it is a huge commitment with committing to completing the 6 week class. So we also offer a Savvy Express. So this class meets for 3 weeks, once a week. So there is that opportunity to learn more.
Okay. Good. And then how can I support my family member that's living with Alzheimer's?
Mm.
How do
Uh,
you?
so beginning by being patient with the changes that are happening to not only your family member with this disease, but also in the family as well. There's so many changes that happen, and it's a lot of adapting that the family has to undergo with this disease. And at times it's hard to understand that your person who has this disease they're not in control of their disease. So we are the people, the families are the ones who need to adapt to these changes and accept that this is really happening in the home. So the best that you can do is also educate yourself about the disease. Learn strategies on how to better support your family member with Alzheimer's, and also educate yourself about the resources that are available for you and your family member. And lastly, taking care of yourself. Self-care is very, very important. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, tired, it's important to take some time for yourself, even if that's 5 minutes during the day. At least that's some time that you're dedicating to yourself. Because, if you're feeling tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, all of that can get in the way of you providing the adequate care that your loved one requires or
Okay.
needs.
Okay. And then if I'm taking care of a family member living with dementia, like what are the resources that are available to me? For
So
instance.
there are many resources available. So it's all about learning, right? There's so many resources that are in the community that can be helpful for you in providing support. At least at our organization at Alzheimer's Los Angeles, we offer several free services. We offer services in Spanish and other languages, and that includes, as of right now, because of the pandemic, we are offering virtual support groups. So we do have a calendar where or a list of available support groups that we are offering. And we also have care counseling. So you would work closely with a social worker to provide you with any support that you need. And we also offer free classes, so you can learn more about behaviors or communication. And we also have our calendar. We also have a calendar of events where you can see all of our classes, and it has a brief description of the classes. So let's say if you're interested in a specific one, you can easily just click and register as well.
Okay. So then if you put, so the languages will be down there. So besides the Spanish, if you go to the calendar events,
So
do you
at
know what languages?
very top, there will be a little tag where it says Spanish,
Okay.
for example. So you can just click on that, and it'll take you to our Spanish website.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. And then there's there like Chinese Mandarin or other languages, or they're all listed on there?
I believe they're all listed there too.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So then, what if, my father has Alzheimer's and I am having challenges with him resisting to bathing? Like, why does that happen? Like, how does that
Yeah, so
usually?
so this is actually a common behavior challenge that many caregivers have shared, and it's important to view these behaviors as a way of them trying to communicate with us when they have challenges, or maybe they're at the stage where they can no longer verbally communicate with someone. So many of the times when we see this resistance, and it could be resistance to bathing, to taking medication, they are probably unable to verbally express what it is they want, what they need, them being uncomfortable, or even their fears.
Okay.
And it's always good to observe when these behaviors happen. So try to explore also the meaning behind the behavior, and then approach the situation. So we do have a behaviors class, as I mentioned, and it's about an hour, and you learn more about why these behaviors happen, the meaning behind behaviors, how to better approach these challenging behaviors. So, if anyone is interested, you can go to our calendar of events and see when we are offering those classes.
Okay. And then for if you're experiencing changes with memory, so what kind of a doctor should I speak to? Like, where can I find them? Like, if
Mm,
you're
so,
just noticing changes, I mean, what
yeah,
would be the first thing?
so that's good. You know, the first step is to observe, right? Even if it's in yourself or in another
Mhm.
family member, if you observe any changes, it's very important to at least take the first step in communicating those changes to your primary physician. So the primary physician can evaluate, right? Maybe it's a side effect from medication, maybe a combination of medication that that person is taking that is causing these these changes. And if it's not, then the physician can make the proper recommendations. You know, I'm referring you to a neurologist, to a gerontologist, so they can uh, further evaluate what is going on. And so that would be my recommendation.
Like, what do people like? What are do you know like any of like the changes? Like, what would be like an example of that? Like, there's something that's just like I'm getting older, or like mom brain, or whatever, or it's just something I should watch out for. Do you have like examples
Yeah,
of like what would a change be that you think
yeah. So
that's of concern?
the yeah. So the
Yeah.
first common one would be memory, right? So
Mhm.
maybe something as simple. It could be like losing your keys, right? You can't
Mhm.
remember where you misplaced your keys, and
Mhm.
a lot of people may think, "Oh, that's normal. That happens to me all the time."
Yeah.
When you see that happening for or it happening more consistently, then
Yeah.
that's when it's concerning, right? That's when you should start paying attention to other warning signs.
Okay.
And that could include maybe, you know, you're feeling less able to do day-to-day activities, right? Maybe you're
Okay.
seeing that it's you're struggling with completing these activities,
Okay.
uh, trouble with reading, writing, or even conversations. You start noticing also less social engagement, so withdrawn from family, friends, um, needing more reminders to stay organized. Also, managing finances and paying bills.
Mhm.
So increase in anger, anxiety, sadness, repeating the same question over and
Okay.
over, also getting lost, right, on familiar
Mhm.
roads or paths.
Mhm.
And yeah, those are the most common ones that if you start noticing that these things are happening in your family member or in even in yourself, it's important to communicate to your doctor. So the doctor can further evaluate and tell you if it's really is dementia. If it is dementia, what type of dementia it is, or maybe it's something else, right?
So basically, it's like if you notice the pattern of that, then you
Mhm.
should. And then, like, does that start at like any age, or like is it usually like after 50, or that can really happen any? I mean, what's the because you always think of like Alzheimer's as an older person's or dementia. Does that like when
So
when should you start looking? I guess any
yeah,
yeah
so I mean, it's more seen in a specific age group. So
yeah.
let's say 50 and older, right? But
Mhm.
there have been some cases where people start noticing some cognitive decline as early as 40.
Mhm.
So it's important to catch these changes before, right? So
Yeah,
it's important to go to your yearly doctor's appointments
yeah,
just to
that's what I
see,
thought.
right, if any changes have happened. And it's scary to take that first step
Mhm.
to just even understand what it is happening, but it's important to know, so that way you can better prepare yourself for the future, and so your family can also prepare as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So let me see. I think I had a few more questions. If I live with a parent who has dementia, but I have concerns about being able to provide sustainable care in the future. Like, what are my options? Like, where do I start? What do I do?
Yeah, so it's good to start with talking with your family about long-term care for your loved one. So, for example, these are conversations that you should have about, are we going to keep, let's say, mom at home? Are we going to hire a caregiver? Or, is a specific family member going to stay with her during certain times of the day? And even long term, are we going to place mom at a nursing home? So these are all challenging conversations, but it's important for the whole family to be aware and know that these are changes that will be happening, and it's better to plan ahead. Um, and then, and also they are tough decisions to make, because you're caring for your loved one, right? This person who was independent, this person was didn't need that much support, and
Mm,
noticing that there's a decline in their ability to manage their own daily needs, then it's sad to see.
mm.
But it's very important to discuss this as a family and make decisions as to, okay, what's the best care for our loved one. And if you need guidance on your options, we do have care counselors who can talk with you and give you more information about your options when it comes to long-term care.
And speaking of care counselors, like what are care counselors? Tell me more about them.
Yeah, so care counselors are social workers. So
Mm,
you would work with a care counselor through our care counseling program. So it is a voluntary program, and you work individually with the care counselor. So this care counselor will call you every 3 months or as needed, and provide you with the support and guidance that you're seeking. So let's say, you're having some challenges because your mom is asking the same question over and over. So the care counselor will talk to you, will provide disease education as to why this is happening, and then review some strategies to help you guide you manage that situation. Also, the care counselor, let's say you're seeking a specific service that we do not offer, for example, legal services,
mm,
they will make sure to provide you with referrals also and connect you with that service you're seeking. And they're there to support, right? They're there to listen. they certainly understand that there are many challenges that caregivers go through in caring for someone who has this disease, and it's often hard to be fully able to talk about what it is they're going through with family members. Because sometimes there have been caregivers who have shared, I can't seem to talk to my sister about this because
Mm.
they're not there to see and witness the decline in our father. For example, she says whenever she comes visit, she says, "What are you talking about? That's okay."
Mm.
They're not there to witness that. So what better than to talk with the care counselor who understands, right? Who wants to be there to support. And again, it's that service is completely free. If you are interested, you can call our helpline and they can connect you with a care counselor.
And are the care counselors, besides English, Spanish, thank you for the helpline, are they have other languages as well? They'll tell when you
So
call the helpline, they'll say,
right now, we only have English and Spanish speaking care counselors.
okay,
But when I was working as a care counselor, we did have some Mandarin speaking clients.
okay,
So we did have staff members who would help translate,
okay,
or we would also have the language line. We would call the
okay,
language line and use that tool as well.
okay, sounds good. And then, if how much is it to access these services? Like, will my insurance cover it? How does that work?
So all of our services are free to the community.
Okay,
So if you know of someone who needs support, please let them know that these services exist.
okay,
Uh, they're not alone facing this journey of Alzheimer's, and there is support out there for them.
okay, okay, good to so, and then if I have more questions and concerns, like who would I contact?
Mhm. So, uh,
Also, yeah.
yeah, you can call our helpline, which is 844-435-7259. So if we do have the language line, so language is not an issue. So we will try our best to provide that person with support. Um, so yeah, and it can be something as simple, maybe they're just looking for simple resources like, oh, I would like a list of neurologists in my area. Could you provide me with that information? And they can connect um, them with that information. Or maybe they want to talk to a care counselor, right? Maybe there's something that they're having a challenge with, and they would like more support. So
Okay. And then, so all those workshops and events,
mhm.
are they at the moment they're all virtual, right? And then when are they? So yeah.
Yeah, so at the moment we are only offering virtual classes. So hopefully sometime in the near future we will be offering in person, but as of right now only virtual. So we do have several classes. Right now, only in English or in Spanish. So we have our calendar of events or all of our upcoming classes
Okay.
you're able to see there. So there's classes on keeping your brain healthy. There's the Savvy Caregiver Workshop. There's communications, behaviors, how to keep your home safe, especially if you have your family member with Alzheimer's living with you. How do you make those your home safe so there's less risk? So you can learn more there, and just register there. You can register through our website, or if you have any challenges enrolling or registering, just call our helpline and they'll guide you. And we do have an upcoming event also. It's called Conversations with a Dementia Counselor.
Okay.
And this will take place in July. So please check our website once um, to get more information and register for that event. So you'll have the opportunity to talk with the care counselor,
Oh,
and the care counselor will review some of the basics, or some guidance when it comes to behavior. So like getting lost or challenges with anger, and you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions as well.
oh, so that's going to be like one of those same thing. You just register. It's a virtual event. It's probably going to be an hour or
Yes.
longer.
So
Okay.
I want to say like about an hour and a half, since we are giving people the opportunity to ask questions.
And then do you have the date on that, or will it be on the?
I believe it's set for July 7th in English at 5,
Okay.
and then July 8th at 5 as well for Spanish.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so in English and Spanish. And then the current calendar, is it just through this summer, or is it all? You guys already have things in the fall?
So it's we update our calendar monthly. So
Okay.
right now you only see our events for the month of June.
Okay.
So hopefully next week we'll have the calendar already set for July.
Okay, perfect. And then I wanted to, in the beginning, I remember earlier we talked about different exercises that people could do, like activities, puzzles. Like, what are some you can recommend? Um,
So
specific,
as far as exercises,
besides
not
like the walking and
anything.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, anything as long as you're not sitting down, right?
Mm,
And it's hard to do something active, especially after a long day at work, right? Go driving through traffic now that
yeah.
things are finally going back to how it was before. We're starting to see
Mhm.
more traffic now,
Yeah.
so all of that can take energy from you, and wanting you to, or from wanting to stay active. But something simple, it doesn't have to be challenging, right?
Mhm.
Something as, um, let's see, dancing can help.
Mm,
If you're at the office, maybe going out for a 5-minute walk, or something to keep you active. And you can get as much as creative as you can with staying active. With brain exercises, Sudoku, for example, Sudoku can
mm,
be very
mm,
good. I find myself struggling sometimes trying
yeah.
to solve the puzzle, but something as simple as that can help. Crossword puzzles,
Mm, yeah.
something that you find engaging and stimulating,
Okay.
can help.
And then I guess exercising, like however much you can do, I guess, like
Uh,
5 minutes a day, 10 minutes, anything, like 20 minutes, whatever
yeah.
you can get in, I guess, just to keep you active and
Mhm.
moving. And then I want to see if I thought there was like another question that came in. Let me double check
Yeah.
the questions that came in. Oh, righty. There's a few. Um, if you don't live in Los Angeles, can you still sign up for services?
Yeah, so right now, because of the beauty of us working virtually for a while now, they can, I have someone who, or before I had someone participate in from Mexico to my Spanish support group. So she
Mm,
would call, and she would be all the way in Mexico. I had someone also in Arizona.
wow.
So, if you have questions, we won't, you know, redirect them. We will certainly try and help with what they can. And if it's, if we see that there are resources out there that maybe they didn't know, we can help them in searching for those resources too.
Okay. It's kind of like ours. Well, we have our programs, like we have people from all over the world that
Mhm.
are listening
Yeah.
because it's virtual. So that's great.
Yeah.
And then what if you don't have a doctor
Mhm.
specifically? Like what do you
If you don't have a doctor, I would check with if you have health insurance.
mhm,
Check with your
just go
health
through that way?
insurance,
Mhm.
yes, to see, what type of coverage plan you have, and see, if there's specific doctors that are within your health plan that you need to go to. And if not, then maybe ask them, is there one that you recommend, or is there one in my community near my area that I could go to?
Do you have like resources that you can like, are there national free resources? Like if you also don't have like a minute, like what if you're having like insurance? Like what if you don't have insurance, or what if, I mean, are there any other, like, can they call Alzheimer's lines on the helpline? Are there other resources that there are that you can share, or do they just call and will you guys referrals?
Um, I
No, because the questions of if you don't have a doctor, do you have some national free resources you can share?
National free resources. We do have a couple of resources. It all depends on the situation. So
Okay.
we would guide them in much as we can, and try and see how they can be able to have access to that service that they're seeking.
Okay, so they would call the helpline and then, okay, so it's the helpline. You don't have it offhand, right? You just call the helpline and they'll have more information.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
I don't
And
have the
then,
I don't have
yeah,
the
yeah, often, no, no, it just came in, so I wasn't, yeah. But that's good. And then, yeah, another person has like, they're like, thank you very much for talking about this very important topic. Yes, thank you so much. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else you'd like to share, Denora?
um
Other
oh,
that we
we
forgot
do
about?
we do have our Instagram lives that we do on
Mhm.
Tuesdays in English and Fridays in Spanish.
Thank you.
I believe on Tuesdays it's from 3, it starts at 3, and then
Mhm.
on Fridays in Spanish it starts at 12.
Okay.
So we do have, it's called our Ask Me Anything, Ask
Okay.
Me Anything in Español. And
Okay.
they have the opportunity to listen more about our services, our upcoming classes, and then we talk about a specific topic of that day. So it could be something as related to the caregiver, like self-care, the importance of self-care. Maybe it's a behavior challenge, like resisting to bathe, and we
Mhm.
go over strategies as to how to help. So if you are interested, you can join there to learn more and learn about our upcoming events also.
Okay. So you said on the so the 12 o'clock one was, is that the English one?
So
And
the
then the
Fridays at
Spanish.
12 are Spanish,
Okay,
and
and then the 3 p.m. Okay.
on Tuesdays are in English.
English. Okay. We have another question. What if you don't have a doctor? There's another doctor
Then
question.
for the talk,
I know. I mean, I guess it's going through your
yeah,
primary, and if you don't, then
yeah,
you
and
call the
and
helpline.
and also we do have a physicians list. So
Okay.
it is limited, but we don't have a broad referral list, but we do have a physicians list that maybe you're looking for a neurologist, um, you're looking for a psychiatrist. When it comes to specifically Alzheimer's or dementia, we do have a list.
Okay. So in that case, they also call the helpline, and then they refer to, is the list isn't online, is it, or do they have to call?
No,
Yeah, you have
they
to
would
call.
they would have to call us.
Okay. And then it's by like region, like where they are. Is it just like, okay, so you say where you are, and then you look at, okay,
Yeah.
to
So the
find
list
it.
that we have is for LA County, basically.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me see if there's other questions. I may have missed a question. Okay. And then, yeah, so this, if they want to find a specific Alzheimer's doctor, um, besides if they don't have it, they go through if they call the helpline, the physician's list, or start with their primary. I have one more question that came in. Is dementia or Alzheimer's hereditary? So if my father had it and I had a family member that has Alzheimer's, like, does it run in the family basically, or?
Yeah, so that's a fear that a lot of families have
Yeah.
shared, right? That, or a high concern that because they have relatives who have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or have had some other type of dementia, then they're going to inherit that possibility, right? Or then that's not necessarily the case. So in rare cases, there is a specific gene that gets passed down, and only in those rare circumstances is that hereditary. But if they don't have that gene, then it's the best you can do to reduce your risk is, again, staying active, eating healthy, um, socialize, right? It's good to socialize and engage with other people instead of just um, staying at home, right, and not really engaging in meaningful connections and conversations with other people. Um, and let's see, keeping your brain active, also getting enough sleep, um, monitoring your stress levels too, right? And it's hard not to feel
Yeah.
stressed, right? It's we all go
Especially
through,
now. Yeah.
especially with the pandemic. But just know that you're trying your best, right? Each day is a new day, and yeah, just know that there is support out there. So if you need any guidance and support, what better way than to learn more about what's available in your community.
And then you said there's like a test for a specific. Is there? Can you get that test? Like if you see if you have the gene, or how
I
would you?
I believe, yes, you are able to see if you do have that gene, if it is passed down.
Like, so I guess you go to your doctor and what is
Yeah.
it called? What is it? What is it? Do you know what it's called, the test? Or
I I don't know what the test is called, but
okay,
it is a specific gene
okay,
that that gets passed down, and that's where you see instances of the person developing
okay.
Alzheimer's or.
So if like let's just say you do have it in the family, like you go to your doctor,
Mhm.
um, or like could you call the helpline? Would they have more information on that? Or like I guess if you go to the physician's list and
Um, there are we do have a list of also research um, to participate in research. So that could also
okay,
be an option to see, right?
okay,
Okay, well, like my father has this disease, right? Maybe you found out that you do have that gene, then I I would encourage to also learn about uh, becoming involved in research. Also, it could.
okay. And then it's the same thing. You call, I mean, you call everything is the helpline. You call
Yeah.
the helpline and you have more information on that. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there's another question. Are there any safer at home recommendations that you have?
Yeah. So it's especially um, when you recently received the news, right, that your family member may have Alzheimer's or has Alzheimer's. Sorry. Um, if you start noticing that over time, it's the disease is progressing. If you start noticing that they're not able to um, take their medications, they forget to take the medications. You see that, they're not answering the phone calls whenever you check in, or you start noticing that they leave the stove on, the doors open and or even unlocked, right? So those are safety concerns. So that's where you start noticing that, okay, they're not able to stay home alone, right? So some things that you can do is, let's see, specifically, let's say for wandering, right? Let's say if
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
a
high.
common one.
So for wandering, we would recommend, maybe taking things that would remind them, oh, these are things that you need to go outside, like shoes, keys, maybe keep those out of sight. So to prevent them from saying, oh, I want to go outside. And oftentimes, maybe they're not engaged, they're not active, they're not stimulated enough during the day that they become bored, right? That could also be a reason why they decide to leave the house. So making sure that they're active during the day, that it's an activity that they enjoy doing, that fits within their abilities, to avoid them, becoming bored and wanting to leave the house for a walk, right? And let's say if they do go out for a walk, they may not remember how to come back. Also, maybe putting bells on the door to just send, to make noise, to alert you that, oh, the door is being open. Let me go check and see what's going on. Also, like if you do notice that they are wondering, there are bracelets available that if they are found, they have, like the medical alert, for example. We do offer scholarships for families for this bracelet, and they have an ID number. So if they are found, they call that number and give that ID number, and the police will notify the family that this person has been found. And through LA County, we do have there is a program called Project Lifesaver, or LA Found, and it's a bracelet also that sends radio signals. So whenever the person is lost, they can track them down through those radio signals. So that's also a resource that's available. And if you are interested, you can call our helpline and they can give you more information.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's good. Let me see if there's anything else that I missed. Is there anything, so Denora, do you have anything else that you think you missed? We covered a lot of stuff. Yeah.
No, I feel like these are all very, very great questions. If you want to learn more about home safety, we do have a class, and it'll go over, medications, right? So after a certain point, we don't want them to take the medication on their own, because they may take a medication that they shouldn't take during that specific time of the day, or overdoses can happen also. And this could be because they can no longer remember, right, that they have taken that medication already. So they do review things to keep in mind, things to do, and also they go over wandering and a couple of others. So if you are interested, it's an hour class, and it's free.
Oh, good. And then this is all on the list.
Yes.
The calendar events.
The
Perfect.
calendar events.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Denora, for this very important discussion. We learned a lot. I know I did. I also wanted to mention to everyone really quickly, Office of Civics and Community Services does have another program coming up next week. It's next Monday, June 28th, 12 to 1 p.m. Once again, streaming at LAPL Facebook and YouTube channels. It will talk about everything you need to know about buying a home. I know it's a hard time to buy a home right now, but they're going to talk about Alliance Economic Inclusion Partners are going to talk about that. And then all of our libraries are also now open for limited services. So for more information on all of our library services and upcoming programs, thank you. Just please go to our website, www.lapl.org, for all that good information. And once again, thank you so much, Denora. We learned a lot, and yes, hopefully we will have more programs with you guys in the future. So yay.
Well,
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Caroline, for having me. And any questions anyone has, please call our hotline. if you'd like to learn more.
Yeah, and then everyone can also email lifelonglearning@lapl.org as well. And then we can forward the question on to Alzheimer's Los Angeles. So thank you everyone for joining us today for the discussion, and have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.